Written by Random Appalachian 468. My name is John Richter, and I'm an investigative journalist for an independent media outlet. Ever since I had to use my wits, an old tape recorder, and some fake weed I made for my mother's arugula plant to catch a few bullies in their lies back at middle school, I've been obsessed with exposing corruption. I've spent years chasing the truth, going undercover and even doing some modest hacking. Mostly I do political stuff. Scandals, cover-ups, bribery. Every politician has a skeleton in their closet, and if you look hard enough, they usually have a few dozen. It's not out of the ordinary for some people to send me evidence of bad behavior on a potential suspect, like hotel receipts, photos, bank statements, that kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, I never publish anything without verifying it. I always look at every case as hearsay until proven correct. You can really mess up someone's life with a false accusation, and as someone who's been through that twice, I don't want to be that guy. Besides, sometimes the stuff people send is just too vague, not convincing, or obviously faked. But every once in a while, I find something really deep, something my editor would call beyond the pale, something dark. This is one of those times. I recently received a recording of a phone call that the whistleblower, who chose to remain anonymous, secretly recorded and sent me via email. The first time I listened to it, I was shocked and had to re-listen several times to be sure I heard it right. If what is contained within is even remotely true, then everyone who lives in Barron County, Ohio needs to get in contact with either their local travel agent or perhaps a National Guard unit. The following is exactly what was sent to me. Mr. Caron,
shut your mouth before I shut it for you. Don't you know not to use my name on the phone, you hopeless lump? I gave you a job to do. One job. And now I'm hearing all kinds of noise about things going wrong down there. You think my group funded your campaign so these kinds of mistakes could happen?
Sir, I assure you, my deputies are doing everything we can.
Your deputies? Do you have any idea what I just got done reading? One of your loudmouth deputies has been blabbing online about seeing a techno in the freaking woods. Thousands of people viewed his post, Werner. If just one of them does any amount of digging, our entire operation could be jeopardized.
I'll find the man responsible and deal with him, sir. It won't happen again.
It better not. As for the park, why didn't you seize control of New Wilderness like I directed? We need that installation as a base for operations, and those two-bit rangers are still running around firing guns everywhere, stirring up the herds and causing the anomalies to migrate. I want them gone, Werner. I don't care how you do it. Just get rid of them.
Sir, with all due respect, the Night Rangers outnumber us 2-1, and they're the only ones keeping the technos and organics at bay. I've lost 2 men already to Echo Spiders, and we could barely keep the roads blocked as is. Civilians are finding their way in, and every one of them that survives has to be silenced or discredited. I need more men.
I have 1,000 of my best fighters on standby as we speak, but I need live specimens, Werner. The more the merrier. And we can't get them if those polo shirt wearing rent-a-cops are killing them all. Ever since that Cromwell girl popped the last Oak Walker, we've had nothing but spikes and electromagnetic satellite readings from your area. Time is of the essence if we want to contain this thing. Arrest the Night Rangers, clear the New Wilderness Reserve of all personnel, and prepare the site for Elsar to move in.
If I move on the park, the Rangers might resist. I know the head of security there, and that old Marine won't give up without a fight. This could spark a real shooting war in our own backyard. And if the public finds out...
If the public finds out there are moon-eyed freaks stumbling around in the woods, they'll start the shooting war themselves. For God's sake, Sheriff, use your head for something other than a hat rack. You want to flush the Rangers out? Drive a herd into them, and let the freaks do their job. Once everyone's dead, we'll come in and clean up. No one will ever have to know it was you.
Look, this would be a whole lot easier if we had more help. I'm not a miracle worker, and rumors spread every time we take another casualty on the force. It's a small county, sir, with even smaller towns. All it takes is one person talking, and I can't contain it. Just give me 50 guys, kitted out and ready to go. At least then we can man the roadblocks.
Fine. I can send 50, but no more until the LZ is clear. The situation is rapidly deteriorating, and the more men we move, the more attention we'll attract. If we can't seal the breach soon, we could face an ecological disaster that would make Chernobyl look like Christmas in the Bahamas. I don't need to remind you what we'll be forced to do if that happens.
Clean sweep.
Exactly. I won't risk creating another Black Crow Island. The press is distracted by the upcoming elections right now. But if we make one slip-up, we'll have reporters and homegrown watchdogs breathing down our necks all across the country. We cannot afford another disaster zone, especially not after what happened in Canada.
I understand, sir. As soon as the reinforcements arrive, we'll have New Wilderness captured for you within a week. 3 days tops.
Time is critical, Warner. Don't disappoint me on this. Get control of your department, shut the Night Rangers down, and keep the anomalies contained until we get there. I'll work on suppressing any more online activity regarding your area, and run some interference in case a few wannabe private eyes start Googling things they shouldn't.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and one more thing. The leak in your department. It's some moron named Hammond. I don't care how you do it, or where. Just make him disappear. Now.
Hammond, huh? I should have known. Believe me, sir. It's as good as done. Naturally, I dove into the internet and started hunting for information as soon as I read the transcript. Try as I might, I couldn't find anything about a Barron County, Ohio in the mainstream press, or on any map anywhere. There's a Barron County, Wisconsin, but nowhere near the foothills of Appalachia, almost as if it's been selectively deleted from every record available. As for the New Wilderness Wildlife Reserve, I did manage to locate its homepage just before a strange computer glitch made it unavailable. Just last week, the park announced it wouldn't be holding a tour session this year, and that all grounds were closed to the public. It also issued a call for more volunteers for its security department, offering a whopping $40 an hour to anyone who stayed longer than a week, along with free room and board. Sadly, I didn't get a chance to find any contact information, the site crashing in what I suspect was a coordinated DDoS attack from an unknown source. What really stood out to me about the whole thing was the bizarre words used by the two callers. Technos, organics, and the vague threat known as the breach. They seem to refer to some kind of animal species, judging by the use of the word herds, but it's hard to make heads or tails of it. My search on the regular web turned up nothing until I stumbled across this site and found 4 posts, 3 of them belonging to a girl named Maddison Cromwell, and 1 belonging to a sheriff's deputy, Sean Hammond. From what I gather in reading their accounts, both claim to have seen creatures of gargantuan and supernatural proportions. If there's any truth to them, then it might be reasonable to infer that the creature Miss Cromwell encountered, called the Oak Walker in the recording by the mysterious Mr. Caronte, was likely an organic due to its plant-like characteristics. This creature seemed to be highly intelligent and even possibly telekinetic, with the ability to create and control smaller human-sized creatures referred to by Cromwell as puppets. It's also important to note that in both Hammond's account and the secret phone call, the creature known as the Big One or the Oak Walker is described as a type of apex predator whose downfall contributed largely to the explosion of anomaly activity outside of the regular area. It is entirely possible that Miss Cromwell did in fact succeed in killing the creature, which in turn allowed lesser species to thrive in its absence and spill out into the environment. In the second account, the strange metallic monstrosity that attacked Officer Hammond seems to fit rather well into the techno category, given its electronic and mechanical attributes. This could very well be one of the echo spiders brought up by Sheriff Wernaugh. While there isn't much information to go by, it seems that organics and technos are merely subcategories of various paranormal beings that came from the breach, and these anomalies present a clear and present danger to all human beings around them. A mention of electromagnetic readings powerful enough to be observed by satellites also seems to indicate that there is a significant environmental disturbance going on in the area, which may have contributed to the origins of these species, or perhaps as a byproduct of their existence. This, of course, was troubling, to say the least, but I wanted to know more, and for that, I'd have to find people who had supposedly witnessed the occurrences firsthand. Armed with 2 complete names, I info hunted, and found some alarming results. Maddison Cromwell's family recently moved from Black Oak to an unknown location somewhere deep in the hills of Idaho. For a family of relatively low income to undertake such an abrupt move, they were either pursuing better income or desperately fleeing from some danger. I have no idea if Maddison is alive or not. All of her social media accounts have been deleted, and none of her contacts on the various platforms seem to know if she quit, disappeared the last night of her job, or is still lying low somewhere. In the case of Sean Hammond, it was announced early yesterday morning that a gunfight broke out in Barron County Sheriff's Office between members of the department, resulting in 3 dead and 4 injured. Sean Hammond is said to still be at large, charged with the rather serious crime of organizing domestic terrorism, though no more details have been provided on that. One of the casualties was Officer James Walker, the partner Hammond referenced on his account on this site. Walker was shot 12 times in the firefight and taken to the Black Oak Regional Hospital. According to the hospital reports, he died of his wounds on the operating table soon after. For such violence to break out between fellow peace officers and for such drastic charges to be leveled, there must be some serious issues in the Barron County government, which lends even more credence to the validity of the whistleblower's claims. But it gets worse. Upon looking into the reference of Black Crow Island, I could only find a passing mention about an explosion that destroyed an abandoned sanatorium on a small island off the coast of British Columbia. Not much was provided in terms of detail, except that 2 people had been seen fleeing the island on a rowboat, but were never apprehended. How this is connected, I don't know. But if it was important enough to mention in the phone call, I can only assume that it had ties to the same forces at work in Barron County. As for the vague LSAR group, which Mr. Cronty appears to be a major player in, I found nothing that matched the description of his lethal capabilities. No large-scale private security companies hail by that name, and I have no doubt that it is an acronym for something. I don't know what it could be. Whoever they are, I seriously doubt the fighters of LSAR are interested in the well-being of Barron County or the employees of the New Wilderness Wildlife Reserve. That leads me to this moment, as I make the finishing touches on my entry. Normally, I would say to refer to my article on our social media website for the rest of this story, but my editor was found dead this morning, with a bullet in his head. The back of his head. I have a well-adapted gut feeling that I've been asking too many questions, stirred around in too many pots, and I know they're coming for me. Random cars have been following me to and from home, strangers keep watching my apartment building, and I found a tracking device stuck to the trunk of my car today. Maybe this little post will garner enough attention to alert the people of Barron County to their imminent danger. Perhaps the New Wilderness Night Rangers will hear this in time and find a way to avoid whatever horrible plan Sheriff Wernaw and LSAR have for them. Regardless, my part in this investigation is at an end. My wife and 2 boys are waiting for me at the predetermined spot I arranged over the burner phone I bought at the local phone kiosk. I have withdrawn all my money in cash and booked flights for 3 different countries, bus tickets to 4 different cities, and a rental car with 3 sets of fake license plates. My social media accounts are all deleted. My entire family has shed their personal phones, and I even dyed my hair. If someone hearing this is hunting me, good luck. I've dug up people who didn't want to be found for half my life, and my family's at stake here. You'll never catch us. And if you're someone who lives in Barron County, or heck anywhere near Ohio, all I can say is, brace for impact. Thank you for listening. You can handle another horror story, right?